Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Up-Beet Dietitians podcast.
Hello, guys. Welcome to a brand new episode. Today is going to be a little bit different. We're having sort of like a just for funsies episode today, which will end up being a 3-part series of just for funsies. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But as you likely saw in the title today, we are going to be discussing our Enneagram. So if you don't know what the Enneagram is, we'll briefly explain that. We do want to kind of give a disclaimer first that we are by no means Enneagram experts. Again, this is a just for funsies episode. So do not take anything we say about the Enneagram too seriously. And kind of along those lines too, the next 2 weeks after this, we're going to be going into each of the Enneagrams and how they might impact your relationship with food. So again, we are experts in terms of like dietitian stuff and food and all that, but definitely not in the Enneagram. So it is all just, what's the word, like assumptions and spectating. I don't know.
Speculations.
Speculation. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So yeah, just for fun. Before we get into a brief description though what the Enneagram is, Emily, any thoughts you want to add to this piece?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I know
good.
we're just like really into personality things, so this is so fun.
We are. I'm like giddy about this. I'm so excited. I love personality tests. I feel like if this one goes well, we could definitely self-analyze with other personality tests for the podcast.
Yes.
I could be super into that. I would love to have like an actual expert in an area like this and have them like analyze us.
That would be very cool.
Okay, but let's get into what the Enneagram is if you're not quite sure. So essentially, the Enneagram is a personality test. It is a model of human psyche that is taught as 9 interconnected personality types. So you can be an Enneagram 1 through 9, and I'll kind of list the types real quick. So the types are the reformer, which is type 1. Type 2 is the helper. Type 3 is the achiever. Type 4 is the individualist. Type 5, the investigator. Type 6, the loyalist. Type 7, the enthusiast. Type 8, the challenger. And type 9, the peacemaker. And we can leave a link in the show notes that you can like click on to identify each of the different types and like see what they all mean in more detail, because we're not going to explain in this episode like what each type is in detail. We will go into like each of our types today, of course. And like, I don't know, Emily, I don't really know how this is going to go, but I guess like if we think it's true and accurate, like what it says about us, I think that's kind of like the main purpose of today. But I was reading through like the Enneagram Institute appears to be like one of the main Enneagram websites. And I was just like reading through the about page and like what the Enneagram is, like to learn more about it from like an actual official standpoint. Cause I like know what I know from like social media and stuff. But I was reading it and they were saying that we are born with like a dominant type. So it's like a nature versus nurture thing. So like we're born with a dominant type, like already established, but that can of course be morphed through childhood. And I feel like we always talk about like childhood trauma and all that. So I would just like, there's no way to know this, but I wish we could like know what our type was like the minute we're born and then like see how it changes.
That would be cool. There's got to be someone out there who specializes in it. Who's
And like,
yes, I can identify your baby.
when you're a baby, do you have a personality? I guess you do. Like you can like be a different temperaments.
Well, yeah, like different things set you off. Like why? Like yeah.
Very interesting. Well,
But
before we get into our Enneagrams, I have one last little like thing I want to cover. And it's just some like disclaimers of like what the Enneagram isn't. So it's not meant to be like a end all be all, of course. So like when I say I'm this certain type, I can of course like show traits that don't match that certain type. Like we're not put in a box here. That would be silly. It is noteworthy, however, that according to the Enneagram Institute, people don't change from one basic type to another. I don't know if your wings can change, which we'll get to that in a minute, but they say that like you don't change. Like if you are a 4, you're a 4, and like that's it. Which I guess has to do with just like, again, like who you are as a person. Like that's like your core. But again, like
That's
these
interesting.
are not meant to be like a full spectrum of like who you are as a person. And they also note that these descriptions of the personality types are universal and apply equally to males and females. There is no type that is like inherently masculine or feminine. Thought that was very interesting.
Interesting. I mean, I guess that could make that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I feel like there are some types that are definitely, I would imagine, like more women are like, or like more men are like, but
again, like it's like nature versus nurture. Like, are a lot of men the way they are because of just how men are treated differently versus women? I don't know.
that's true.
I have so many thoughts about this. I
That's
love
true.
this kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I think those are my main notes. Again, like it's the whole purpose of like this disclaimer here is, I guess there's more to say. I'll leave a link below with like how the system works. They have all these disclaimers if you want to learn more. I'm not going to harp on forever about it,
Yeah.
but I think it's very interesting. They say like a lot of disclaimers about all kinds of stuff. So we'll link that below. Okay. Emily, do you want to go first and let the people know what you are?
I'll go first. I will give a quick disclaimer. I think I know which wing I am for mine, but it's been a little bit, and I'm basing it based off of what I know about your Enneagram, based off which wing I am. So I am an Enneagram 8, which is the challenger, which is just very on brand for me. And I was copying your notes on this and I was like, oh, I did not know these other people were also 8. So
I love that part.
To kind of give you, I will give like what they state, like the general basic information about it is the basic fear of an Enneagram 8 is of being harmed or controlled by others.
That checks out
a lot of sense for me. The best desire is to protect themselves, parentheses, to be in control of their own life and destiny. Very on brand there because very hyper independent and do not like doing anything anyone tells me. And it states the key motivators for an 8 are they want to be self-reliant, to prove their strength and resist weakness, to be important in the world, to dominate the environment, and to stay in control of their situation. And that just makes a lot of sense about who I am with my like control issues and hyper independence. And the other examples of 8s, which I was like, oh my gosh, look who I'm up here with. Wait, I need to like delete this person because I don't know who they are. Martin Luther King Jr. is up there. So already got
what an honor.
I'm like, we're on the same level, apparently. Serena Williams is an 8, Queen Latifah is an 8, Jack Black's an 8, Pink, the artist, like the singer is an 8, Frank Sinatra's an 8, and Alec Baldwin is an 8. And this is gonna be, I'm gonna get some hate. This is gonna be sound and I know that Bobby's gonna get really mad at me because his families are Jeopardy like fanatics. Alec Baldwin is the host of.
No, look up Alec Baldwin. That's not how you think it is.
I'm taking him off the list right now.
That's Alex Trebek.
Oh, okay.
Alec Baldwin. I was gonna say, if you like him, I am very surprised. He's been like under some heat lately. He's like, I don't think a very good person.
Oh, okay.
He's an actor.
I thought he was the host. I was very excited that I shared.
I was like, I am so surprised that you are like boasting this because people don't like Alec Baldwin. That is Haley Baldwin's, I think, uncle.
They're related?
Uh-huh.
Of course they are. I know she's a Nepo baby in some way. Okay, we're gonna scratch that.
I was so confused.
I thought he was the host of Jeopardy.
I was like, wow, she's keeping it very honest here, like putting people who are maybe like not so great and people who are great.
I deleted a lot of people from the list and I tried to leave the ones that I liked the most. So we have removed him from the list. So now I just stand with Martin Luther King Jr., Serena Williams, Queen Latifah, Jack Black, Pink, and Frank Sinatra.
I think it's a good list.
Yeah. Big fan of these people. I feel like this Enneagram makes sense for me. I will note, I think I'm a wing towards 7, not 9.
7's the enthusiast, right?
Enthusiast. I think I wing that way because I know when I like read about 9s, that is not who I am.
Yeah.
And when I was like doing that one wing test that you sent me, I think a year or 2 ago, whenever it was not, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 9.
Yeah, I don't think you're a 9, a wing 9.
No, I don't
I
think
could
so.
see 7. 7 is like pretty social, like here, where is 9? Let me find 9. The busy, fun-loving type, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered. I like how it does the pros and the cons.
Yes.
I could see that. Are there any aspects of the 8 that you feel like you don't connect with?
Oh my gosh. Okay, quick side note. The levels of development listed for the types. I like directly went to unhealthy levels because
these are my favorite thing in the entire world. Okay, so my friend Amy is a type 8, and one day at work we were looking at the unhealthy levels, and it is like, I'll let you read it, but it's hilarious.
I'm like shook. So I don't really know what these levels of development mean. I feel like Hannah, you might know a little bit better. Like, what is healthy levels versus average levels? Unhealthy.
It's like, what's your mental health at? Where like 1 is like you're good.
Well,
9
I'm
is
an
like
unhealthy.
You're not a level 9. I mean, at least I hope not, or we can't hang out anymore.
Okay, well, that helps a lot for understanding this, but still, I'm probably on the upper limit toward unhealthy. So I'll put that preface, but I want to go over the 3 unhealthy levels because I'm reading them right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So level 7 is defying any attempt to control them, become completely ruthless, dictatorial.
Yeah.
Okay. Quote, might makes right. Quote, the criminal and outlaw, renegade, and con artist, hard-hearted, immoral, and potentially violent.
That's level 7. Please read level 9. Level 9 is
level
like off
9
the rails.
is if they get in danger, they may brutally destroy everything that has not conformed to their will rather than surrender to anyone else. Vengeful, barbaric, murderous, sociopath tendencies generally correspond to the antisocial personality disorder.
Oh my God. Yeah. We read this at work with Amy and we were laughing so hard at vengeful, barbaric, murderous. So that's the challenger at their absolute worst.
Yeah. At their best, level 1, we'll give it like
a positive spin.
The other side. They're self-restrained and monogamous.
Yep. Monogamous means that you're only definitely not monogamous.
Why? I can't read things out loud because I clearly know that does not say monogamous. Magnanimous.
Magnanimous.
From
the dietitian who brought you aspartame.
Magnanimous, merciful, and forbearing, mastering self through their self-surrender to a higher authority. Definitely not. Courageous, willing to put self in serious jeopardy to achieve their vision and have a lasting influence, may achieve true heroism and historical greatness. I guess that's like Martin Luther King. He was probably at his best.
The one thing I'm a little confused about is the like higher authority thing where it says like a type 8 might surrender to a higher authority. So I feel like a challenger is like you said, hyper independent.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is like if they view higher authority as like a maybe like higher purpose in life or like some big picture, but like I wouldn't just use the word authority.
I think that's what throw me off. Maybe like even like it's admirable to like see someone that's even higher than they are. They like want to achieve that. But yeah, I think authority is like they're surrendering to them, which doesn't seem very eight-ish.
No.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the levels of development. They're hilarious when you get into like, well, they're not really like
I'm
haha
excited for
funny.
yours.
Should we do that?
Let's do yours. Because now I'm like curious. Ah.
I also after we do mine, I want to get into the relationship. So they share on the Enneagram Institute like the types together and how they merge. So I think that'll be interesting.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay, so I am a 9. I think I'm a 9 wing 1. So a 9 is the peacemaker. I have a friend who knows this about me, and she always says that Hannah would rather get hit by a bus, like jump in front of a bus, a moving bus, than deal with conflict. And that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
So the 9's basic fear is loss and separation, which makes total sense. Like it could be an anxiety thing, but I'm always like worried about everyone in my life dying and like just leaving me. So that would suck. My basic desire, or a 9's basic desire, is to have inner stability and peace of mind, which completely checks out. I'm at a stage in my life right now where like nothing is stable. Like I don't know what's going on. Classic quarter life crisis. Like nothing is like what I see myself doing forever. And so just like nothing is like where I think it's going to be. So I'm feeling like there's no stability, and so that's freaking me out. So that one makes total sense. That would be like a fear. An Enneagram 9 with a 1 wing is the dreamer, which again makes total sense. I'm a huge dreamer. I'm always thinking about like what's next, like the perfect scenario, like that kind of thing. And like I kind of said, the motivators, like what makes me who I am is wanting to create harmony in their environment, to avoid conflict and tension, to preserve things as they are, and to resist whatever would upset or disturb them. So like that completely checks out. Like I absolutely hate conflict. I was a manager once in college at the dining court I worked at, and that was just, I love that job overall, but like that position specifically was not good for me. Like having to like, I had to fire someone once, and that just like set me into a turmoil. They talked me out of it. Long story short, like that's how that went. They literally talked me out of firing them. Like having to like not punish, that's the wrong word, but deal with like conflict from the employees. Like it was just terrible. I don't do all that kind of stuff. Examples of other type 9s are Walt Disney, Morgan Freeman, Lisa Kudrow, Zooey Deschanel, and Mr. Rogers, I feel like is probably the most like well-known type 9.
Yeah. This is so on point for you, but I find it so funny because I feel like ours are like opposites.
Yeah,
So
you can be a 9 wing 8, and I just feel like that doesn't work out.
I was gonna say I don't understand how they're like next to each other.
Yeah,
Because they
like
seem so
so they define like they have like what that the name of that would be. So if you're a 9 wing 8, you're the referee, which I don't exactly know much more than that.
you're an 8 wing 9, apparently you're the bear.
The bear.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we think I'm on the other side, which is 8 wing.
I don't
Or
think
8 with
you're
a 7 wing maverick. I'm definitely not a 9 wing.
no. Do you want to hear my level 9 level development?
Yes,
It is
yes.
it's so accurate. Like I could totally see this if I was like at my absolute worst.
Yeah.
Okay.
But well, then we'll have to hear the best because
We'll hear the best too.
We have to hear when you're thriving, where you're at.
Me and my type 8 friends, like we read this too about me, and we were just like cracking up. It's so true. I mean, it's not true about me, but we could totally see how it could be true. Okay, so level 9, they finally become severely disoriented and catatonic, abandoning themselves, turning into shattered shells. Multiple personalities possible, generally corresponds to the schizoid and dependent personality disorders. The shattered shell one made me laugh because if I'm unwell, I am a shattered shell. Like I am, you touch me and I'm like broken glass. Not good. But let's read the one because there's good days too.
Yeah.
Okay, so level 1 at a 9's best, they become self-possessed, feeling autonomous and fulfilled, have great equanimity and contentment because they are present to themselves. Paradoxically, at one with self and thus able to form more profound relationships, intensely alive and fully connected to self and others. Which that makes sense. Like, as a peacemaker, like, we're supposed to be able to, like, we're like the listening ear, basically. Like, we're the person that everyone can like come to with their issues. We're really good at listening. And we just like have positive relationships in that way. But of course, if relationships have conflict, a type 9 has a hard, difficult time like breaking off that relationship or like confronting it. And so that can cause feelings of like overwhelm, basically, because like that person may not see there's a problem, but we do, and we can't address it because that freaks us out. They say that like the 9 is the hardest one to not diagnose, but like identify, because we tend to mimic the personalities of others, which we discussed on here before about me. Like, I have no like individualism. I just like do what everyone else does and like make them happy by like acting like them, basically, which makes sense with the whole personality disorder thing that they say you can be at your worst. So that's why 9s though are hard to identify, because we can show all these different traits of all the different other types, but it's actually just being a 9 is like, if you think you are all the types, you're probably a 9 is what they always say.
That makes sense.
But yeah, once I like looked into the Enneagram and I like discovered this was my type, I was like, oh wow, yeah, that like everything makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's always so fun to see the like things on like Instagram where it's like, this is like what an Enneagram 8 would be like in this situation, or 9, or like, I love when it's like so obscure and it's like coffee, like this is, I saw the bonus question, it was like, this is like a coffee or like a sandwich or like something that's so like obscure, but I'm like, yes, this is me.
I always love the ones that like will break down a TV show and like what each of the characters are. So like they have one for The Office, and Jim is a 9, which makes complete sense. I like those a lot, where they like identify each of the different characters.
I want to read about our relationship.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Imagine like 2 type 9s in a relationship. Nothing would ever get accomplished.
No.
Okay. So this one says that the type 8 is like the take charge, we can do it mentality. And the type 9s tend to live vicariously through them. That makes sense. We are just broken shells who mimic everyone around us. Okay, so what the 9s do bring to the table, though, is a sense of calm and stability that the 8s find soothing, because the 8s are kind of like maybe a little over their heads sometimes.
Yes.
Both have powerful drives and strong willpower. Both like comfort and simplicity. Both want to create a safe retreat from the world.
Our coffee shop.
Yes. Oh, here we go. When these forces and their talents are harnessed together after the same goals, this pair can be a dynamic and powerful, but also comfortable and receptive at the same time. Aw, I'm going to cry. That's so cute.
I think that makes sense.
Okay. There are some potential issues, though, as with
I was going to say, I feel like this
relationship.
first sentence makes a lot of sense, where it says like one of the main areas when like their defenses go in direct opposite directions is 8 tend to push harder, while 9s tend to like shut down.
Yeah. Yeah.
8s become aggressive and belligerent. I don't know if I call myself belligerent.
Depends on your level of development.
Yeah. And then 9s become unresponsive, and that's where like you seclude yourself into a hole.
Yep. Wow.
They go on an emotional strike.
That's literally, yes, that's so accurate. They may begin reacting passive aggressively. Yep. And sabotaging the 8's activities. Okay, I don't think I do that in this partnership anyway.
No, I don't think so.
This causes 8s to escalate, berating and threatening the 9. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Okay, well now we know what not to do.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever gone there. So I think we're good there.
Eventually, 8s tend to lose interest in 9s, feelings that they are too obstructionistic to them and their plans. Wow. This is sad.
9s can begin to see lower functioning 8s are too bossy, controlling, selfish, and want everything to be their way. Yeah.
9s often feel that 8s are too openly aggressive and harsh with others in order to maintain their dominance.
Wait, I love this. 9s think that they want someone to be in charge and directing, but when 8s start directing them, they rebel and become stubborn.
That's true. I don't know if it's a complete like 8 thing, but I don't like being told what to do either. Like, I'm going to keep the peace and I'm going to help you with whatever you need and you instruct me to do, but I'm not going to like it. Like, I want to do my own thing too.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
I love
9s
the Enneagram.
feel 8s are too openly aggressive and harsh with others. Yeah, this checks out.
Yeah, it really does.
But I like to think we're in that where the pair can be dynamic and powerful and comfortable and receptive. That's where we settle into.
Yeah, I think the trouble spots really are like when things are not great or when one or the other person is at the unhealthy level of development.
I was going to say they're at a level, is it 9?
I don't know if 9 we've ever gotten that far, but like I feel like if one of us is at like a 6 or 7, things get a little rocky. But yeah, we usually tend to hang out a little higher than that.
Yeah. This is so fun. Now I'm gonna have to like make Bobby do this.
I was gonna say, do you know what Bobby is?
I feel like he's an 8. We like have like very, I don't know. Well, let me go back.
I wonder.
He might be a 3 or a 6.
I was wondering if he's a 7, but obviously you know better than I do. But I could like,
I feel just like I don't know 7 well enough.
I don't think I can think of anyone that we both know who's a 7. I have a friend who's a 7, but you don't know her.
Okay. I'll make him do it and then report back to you. Do you know what Ross is?
He hasn't done it, but I think he's a 3 if I had to guess, which again makes total sense for him.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And the 3 is the achiever for those who can't remember or don't know. It's like the person who is image conscious, driven, success oriented.
I will note, since Ross and I have some very similar personality traits, sometimes when I've done, I don't know if it was like a different test, I typically always get 8, but there was like a couple times I was a 3.
And I could see Ross being an 8 sometimes too. So that
I wonder if there's like some type of like other correlation between like not just like the wings.
There is,
but like,
so where was that? They like group them also. So there is like, where is it? The dominant emotion of each of the different centers. There is, where'd that go? But 8 and 3 are almost never together because of how like the Enneagram diagram works.
Right.
If you go to that, there's like, if you scroll down, there's the centers and you can see like how the 8 like connects to different ones, like the 5 and the 2.
Oh, but
never the 3. Like the 8 and the 3 never connect in any way.
Interesting.
The 9 and the 3 do, which I think makes sense too. I thought I was a 3 before I knew I was a 9.
Bobby might be a 7.
I think he's a 7, if I had to guess.
Enthusiast, the busy, fun-loving types, but yeah, distractible and scattered.
I think he's a 7. Yeah.
I'll make him do this today.
Yeah, I need to report
I'll let
back.
you know what he is. Oh my gosh, how fun.
I love this. So yeah, next week we are going to tie this into more of our niche and talk about relationship with food and maybe how your type might relate to those different traits. It's going to be a blast.
Well, this was fun. Let's do more personality things. I know we have plans too, but I think you should just explore all the personality. We could do like Myers-Briggs. We could do zodiac signs. I
definitely want to do that.
That would be fun. We'll go jump into the bonus question, but we'll say goodbye to you guys right now because you have to check out the Beet Deets for all that more fun bonus content. Definitely be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a review. Let us know what your Enneagram is, because we just love talking about this and it's so fun.
So fun. Yeah, make sure you guys leave a comment below if you're on YouTube and Spotify. I believe you can leave comments as well. Make sure you guys rate this if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And last note, make sure you go to our website and submit any questions or future episode ideas that you may have. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Up-Beet Dietitians with your hosts, Emily Krause and Hannah Thompson.
We appreciate you all so much for continuing to support us. In order to support us and sustain the success of this podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and review.
If you'd like to provide us feedback for future episodes and guest stars, follow us on Instagram at the Up-Beet Dietitians.
Lastly, you can show us support by providing a monthly donation using the link at the end of our bio.
Once again, thank you so much for listening today, and stay tuned next Wednesday for a new episode. Until then, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.